Nobody sat you down and told you that you were unwanted. Nobody had to. You just felt it. In the way they forgot to show up to your graduation. In the way they said, "I love you," only when company was around. In the way you learned very early that love was something you had to earn. Therefore, you spent the rest of your life auditioning for rooms that were never going to applaud you anyway. In this video, I'm going to show you what science says actually happens to a child who grows up without real love. So before we go any further, please give this video a like, because somebody out there needs to see this. The first effect is that you become an expert at reading rooms. Not because you're talented, but because you had to be. When love in your home was unpredictable, your brain adapted by becoming a surveillance system. You learned to scan faces, detect moods, therefore calculate exactly how to behave before anyone even opened their mouth. Psychologists call this hypervigilance, but the street name for it is growing up too fast. The funny part, if you can call it that, is that this same skill makes you incredibly emotionally intelligent as an adult. You can read a person in 30 seconds. You notice things others completely miss. But the reason you have that gift is not cute. Therefore, that's the part nobody puts on the motivational poster. The second effect is that you become addicted to validation. Not the healthy kind where a compliment feels nice, but the dangerous kind where a compliment feels like oxygen. When a child grows up without consistent love, the brain rewires itself to treat approval from other people as a survival need. Therefore, as an adult, you find yourself working twice as hard, staying in relationships twice as long, therefore shrinking yourself twice as small, all just to hear someone say, "You did good." Research in attachment psychology confirms this directly, but the part that hurts is realizing that no amount of external validation ever actually fills the hole, because the hole was built when you were 6 years old. Therefore, an Instagram like in your 30s was never going to fix it. The third effect is that you struggle to believe love is real when it finally arrives. This is the cruel one. You spend years looking for love, but the moment someone actually gives it to you consistently and without conditions, your brain panics. It doesn't trust it. It starts looking for the hidden terms and conditions. It whispers that this person will leave, therefore you should probably ruin it first before they get the chance. Psychologists call this an anxious or avoidant attachment style. But what it really means is that your nervous system never learned what safe love feels like. Therefore, it treats genuine warmth like a threat. You push away the exact thing you always wanted, but not because you don't want it, because part of you genuinely cannot believe you deserve it. If any of this is hitting close to home, stay with me, because the second half of this video is the part that actually matters. The fourth effect is that you become extremely self-sufficient to the point where it damages you. You learned early that depending on people leads to disappointment. Therefore, you decided somewhere along the way that you would simply never need anyone. You became the strong one, the reliable one, the one who has it together. But underneath all of that independence is a person who is absolutely exhausted from carrying everything alone. Therefore, has no idea how to ask for help without feeling like a burden. The irony is that the people who seem the least needy are usually the ones who needed the most and simply gave up asking. The fifth effect is that you spend your adult life grieving a childhood you can't get back. This one is quiet but heavy. It doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like anger you can't explain. Sometimes it looks like being triggered by small things, like someone canceling plans or a parent on television hugging their child a little too long. Psychologists call this ambiguous grief, but what it actually is mourning something that should have existed but never did. You're not grieving a death, therefore there's no funeral, no ceremony, no socially acceptable moment to fall apart. You're just quietly carrying the weight of what you never received but were always supposed to have. Here's what science also says though. The brain is not fixed. Neuroplasticity research confirms that the damage done in childhood can be genuinely undone through therapy, safe relationships. Therefore, the very uncomfortable process of learning to reparent yourself. The patterns are not your personality, they are your protection. But protection built for a 6-year-old does not need to run the life of a grown adult. Therefore, the moment you recognize these patterns is the moment you actually get to choose something different. You didn't get to choose how you started, but you absolutely get to choose how you continue. If this video made you feel seen, subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear this, because healing starts the moment someone finally puts words to what you've been carrying alone.